All right, good to go. All right, as it's 7 o'clock, we're going to call this meeting to order. Let the record show that all members are in attendance with the exception of Mr. Owen. At this time, we'll rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I gotta admit, I looked at Mr. Spillman and I thought maybe should I announce all gentlemen remove your hats? All right, we'll move along here. We've got the minutes. Everybody's got a copy of that. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? If not, we'll let the minutes stand as presented. Mrs. Browning, you have claims to present.
Yep, I would like to make a motion to approve all payrolls and claims as submitted.
A motion to approve all claims. Do I have a second for that from Mr. Hedrick? Anybody have any questions regarding the claims? If not, all in favor of approval? 6-0. No donations this month?
No donations.
Okay, let's move on to our staff members of the month.
Yes, we're going to pick up from where we left off last year. We have our sponsor, and he's here tonight, Mr. Tim Cochran from a big injury law firm, where we recognize some of our staff each month and invite them to our school board meeting and recognize them. And obviously here in September, for the first time that we're recognizing staff, all of these folks have helped us get off to a great school year. The first teacher that we'd like to recognize is Danielle Niehaus, who's our preschool teacher at Washington Primary. Danielle had big shoes to fill this year, replacing Mary Paget, who retired. And Mrs. Niehaus has come into that space and has made it her own. She's also had the challenge of training 4 new team members, which include 2 instructional aides and 2 apprentices. And that's gone really well. And we just really appreciate the work that Mrs. Niehaus does with our youngest learners and helping them get off to a great start. Danielle Niehaus. Next, we have Mackenzie Norton, who's a 4th grade teacher at Washington Intermediate. And Miss Norton is one of our team leaders with the 4th grade, where she leads her team with curriculum and professional development initiatives. She connects with her kids, and she's off to a great start again this year. Miss Norton, we appreciate everything you're doing here at Washington. Thank you. And next, we would like to recognize Pam Worland and Jerry Browning, who make up our custodian team during the day over at Washington Primary. Mrs. Murphy nominated them, and I can speak from what I see when I walk through that building and I see both Jerry and Pam keeping that place clean. There's a sense of pride in the work that you do. I know I see often how you guys interact and engage with the children of Washington Primary, and kindergartners and 1st graders can be a challenge, but I love how you're so helpful in the cafeteria and just always there to step up and aid Mrs. Murphy in times of need. So thank you, Pam and Jerry.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you, guys.
This year, we're really happy to partner with Washington, and look forward to seeing you guys all throughout the school year.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you doing that. Okay, next on our agenda is patron statements on agenda topics. We don't have anyone signed up, so we'll move along to personnel. Looks like we have some resignations.
Yes, we have a few resignations to accept. Sarah Trooper as an elementary aide and Laurie Adams as a bus driver.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these 2 resignations. So I have a motion for that. From Mr. Hedrick, a second from Mrs. Browning. Anyone have any questions on the resignation? Not all in favor of approval? 6-0. Leaves.
Leaves recommending the approval for Peyton Williams Garcia, an elementary teacher at Beal, to go on leave from November 14th to January 5th.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the leave. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Miller, second from Mr. Hedrick. Questions? All in favor? 6-0. We've got another meeting to get to, so we're going to move quick. Appointments.
I'd like to recommend the hiring of the following individuals. First, Dave Duperval he's a Washington High School student. He's going to be serving in an internship role to help translate at Washington Primary. Mary Paget as a WIDA pre-screen testing helper during the 25-26 school year. Janet Stuckey as a WIDA pre-screen testing helper during the 25-26 school year. Rachel Wildman as the sub for the leave of absence at Beal Elementary. And Alandis Cameron Lyford as an elementary aide.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these appointments. Are we good to do them as a bulk? If we are, do I have a motion for that? For Mr. Cornelius, second for Mrs. Browning. Anybody have any questions? All in favor? 6-0. ECA appointments.
ECA appointments, like to recommend the following for Vanguard: Barbara Buffy Keeley, elementary volleyball volunteer, Kelsey Miles, cheerleading volunteer, Shaylee Fowler, high school head girls basketball coach, Gretchen Miles, high school reserve girls basketball, Brittany Chestnut, 9th grade girls basketball, Casey Freddy, 8th grade girls basketball, Scott Lemon, 7th grade girls basketball, Kevin Hubner, 8th grade assistant girls basketball, Ellie Reed, 7th grade assistant girls basketball, Matt Clark, 6th grade girls intramural basketball, Chad Niehaus, Randy Browning, Kenna Garland, and Marcus Thorne. 5th grade girls intramural basketball, Chad Niehaus, Randy Browning, Isabel Howe, and Mackenzie Norton. 6th grade girls travel basketball, Marcus Thorne. 5th grade girls travel basketball, Mackenzie Norton. 5th grade girls travel volunteer, Madeline Dalton. 6th grade girls travel basketball volunteer, Randy Browning. 6th grade girls travel basketball volunteer, Aubrey Riddle. High school girls basketball volunteer, John Howe. High school girls basketball volunteer, Isabel Howe. And assistant freshman, sophomore football as a split stipend, Chad Stoll.
All right, have a recommendation to approve these ECA appointments. We good to do them as a bulk? Need a motion to approve. Mrs. Browning, second from Mr. McCormick. Any questions? All in favor? 6-0. All right. No other, no old business. New business.
First item under new business, I'm recommending the approval of the 2026 budget. The documents were attached under the item for you to see. I believe it's everything that was presented or sent to you back in August. But we're ready to approve the budget and have that in place.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the 2026 budget. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Hitter, second from Mr. Miller. Anybody have any questions for Carrie about the budget?
I will have all the documents at the work session for everyone to sign. There's several things to sign.
Excellent. All right. If we don't have any questions, all in favor of approval? 6-0. Policy update.
Recommending, will be the second reading and the approval of this set of Neola policy updates. This particular set was related to all the spring 2025 state legislation that was passed. And once it's approved, we'll send it back to Neola for them to update our Neola site.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the policy updates. Motion for that. Mr. Cornelius, second from Mr. McCormick. All in favor of approval? 6-0. Cash flow resolution.
Recommending the approval of the cash flow resolution is a resolution that we have passed each fall, and it provides Carrie just flexibility in how she's managing the funds. But we have to pass the resolution to have the ability to be able to do the loans.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the 2026 cash flow loan. Do I have a motion for that from Mrs. Browning? Second from Mr. Hedrick. Do I have any questions? Do this every year pretty much, right? Okay, all in favor of approval? 6-0. Property resolution.
So we have two property resolutions on the agenda tonight. This first one is the resolution that's been prepared by Clay Havel to allow us to move forward with the purchase of a section of what we're calling the radio tower property, which lies adjacent to Washington Primary School. It became something, as we'll learn later in the work session, one of the ideas is we're shifting the front of the school to that west facing side, and to help with traffic flow for both the buses and the parents, that corner of that property became something that could really help us. A meeting was arranged with the company that owns that property, and I've laid out the official surveys. Both of these are the duplicates, so there's one for each side, but the red mark represents what's being sectioned off for us to purchase from that particular lot. And the final price will be less than $25,000. I think it comes in at like $24,600 or something.
So by it being under 25,000, we don't have to go through the appraisals and all that. So that's the significance of that. And that's why we can approve that with just a resolution. So I have a recommendation to approve this property resolution. Do I have a motion for that from Mr. Hedrick? Second from Mr. McCormick. If I have any questions, I would like to say I believe it's a real company that we're dealing with on this, and they've been great, very supportive of our schools and our need for this. So big thank you to them for working with us on this, and we'll see how it really fits into our future plans out there. All right, all in favor of approval? 6-0. Resolution number 2.
So property resolution number 2 that I'm recommending for approval is for a second section of property that essentially lies between the radio tower property and Washington Primary. This copy here I laid out in front of each of you, but when you look at it this way, it's the copy here didn't do a great job, but you can see what's been diagonal. It's just this little section that represents 0.177 of an acre. We have an agreement with the property owner, the Wayne Scott family, to purchase that section for $6,000. So Clay's prepared the resolution for passage, and once we have that, then we'll work with Clay and these folks to put the agreements together to make the purchases.
And this would be a bit of a landlocked sliver of property behind what we're purchasing, or between what we have and what we're purchasing. So it makes a lot of sense to square up. It's really one of those oddities of property. Who knows why that was like that years ago, but a great deal here too, that the Wayne Scotts were willing to work with us on that and make our purchase make even more sense. So I have a recommendation to approve this resolution. Do I have a motion for that from Mr. Hedrick and a second from Mr. Miller? Anybody have any other questions? All in favor of approval? 6-0. Supplemental stipends.
I'd like to recommend the approval of the supplemental stipends that are presented to you. The board members can see on the board doc system. These are all teachers that work with English learners, and the stipends come from what's called the NESP grant, which now feeds into the education fund. There was a time when the NESP was a standalone grant, and we would write the grant here in the office, and then Carrie would have a completely separate account to access these funds to reimburse, and State Board of Accounts then would allow us to pay those stipends out without running them through the board. Now, since they come through the education fund, that's why we bring these to you. I think this is the third year now it's been this way, that we have to approve the NESP stipends, and it's basically the teachers that work with our EL kids.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these supplemental stipends. I have a motion for that from Mr. Cornelius, second from Mr. Miller. Any questions on the stipends? All in favor? 6-0. Got some meal price change.
Recommending the update to our adult meal prices. This kind of comes to us from regulations that we just have to stay compliant with. So the adult lunch will be updated to $5.25. Adult breakfast will be updated to $3.
Recommendation to approve the price change on adult meals. A motion from Mr. McCormick, second from Mrs. Brown. Any questions on that? All in favor? 6-0. Calendar amendment.
I'm recommending that we update the Washington Community Schools 25-26 calendar to where we make Good Friday, April 3rd, 2026, a day off of school and not a makeup day. With the main reason being, we've been approached to host a FIRST robotics competition that weekend, and we can start it on Thursday night, and then the competition would last during the day on Friday and then into Saturday.
Keep it off Easter.
Right.
By doing this. So great opportunity, and I think a valid reason to make this change. So I have a recommendation to approve the calendar amendment. I have a motion for that. Mr. Miller, second from Mr. McCormick. You want to have any questions on the calendar amendment? All in favor of approval? 6-0. Okay, so we're running short on time. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you just read off all 5 of the?
Well, we've got one more before the trips.
Oh, we do?
We got to do I, and then we could.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. Yep. Non-certain pay schedule.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, recommending the approval of essentially the update of our non-certified pay rate schedule. And what this is, it's simply some additions that we wanted to have on there, which are related to a couple of personnel approvals that we made. We created the WIDA testing teacher rate of $120 a day. And then the student translation intern will make $10 an hour.
All right, have a recommendation to approve these changes to the non-cert pay rate. Have a motion for that, Mr. Hedrick, second from Mrs. Brown. All in favor of approval? 6-0. Okay, now I'm caught up to the trips.
Okay, so the trips, and so I'll read through all the trips, and the thing that I would say as we would kind of group these together, they're either all groups that do a really nice job with their field trips, either out of state or overnight, or these are trips that are just annual trips that these clubs and the supervisors plan every year. So the first one, actually NJROTC, it's a whole collection of their trips that they're providing to you. And again, these are ones that the ROTC participates in every year, both overnight and out of state. K, our high school choir, Mr. Griffith is requesting approval for him to plan a trip to the Smoky Mountain Music Festival in the spring. He does a great job with planning trips, and I think he provides you with a list of all the trips that he's coordinated in his time here. High School Beta Club, the state competition is in November in Evansville, and that's an overnight trip. They go down on a Friday, and then the Beta state competition concludes that next day on Saturday. The National FFA Convention, our FFA attends this. It's up in Indianapolis in October, and it's an overnight trip. And then the robotics team, they've completed many trips here in the last few years, and Matt, Mr. Riney wanted to get a fall trip in, and that will be, I think, both out of state and overnight.
Yeah, Tremont.
Yeah. So I would recommend that we approve all of these trips, as most of them are groups that have done trips in the past and do a good job, and a lot of these are annual trips that our groups take every year too.
Everybody good with that? Have a recommendation to approve these 5 trip requests. Have a motion, Mr. Kranis, second from Mr. Hedrick. All in favor of approving? 6-0. All right. Any other?
No other.
Any non-agenda topic speakers? Information items.
So we'll be transitioning here shortly to our work session at Washington Primary to learn about the plans for the renovation and addition of Washington Primary. Looks like we'll be able to start that on time at 7:30. And then the October regular board meeting, just to make a note for everybody, we did push that back a week so it doesn't fall over fall break. So we're actually meeting the 4th Thursday of October, on October 23rd, starting at 7 o'clock.
All right. And that'll be an important meeting, as we hope to be approving some, moving forward with Hagan. All right. Anybody got anything else to bring before the board? If not, I need a motion to adjourn from Mr. Hedrick, second from Mr. Miller. All in favor? 6-0. See you in 10 minutes.